All right, we are live. Barstool Units episode. Who gives a shit, right, Frank?
I think we're like 83, something like that.
Yeah, it's been a while. It's been a while. We were talking. I just decided to hit record. We don't edit anything around here. Frank, it's been a hectic day. We are in our unit complex, our respective apartments separately right now. But we spent a good while at the AT&T store. You have a new phone. 40 minutes to transfer all of your data from your old phone to your new phone, and you're still having issues with it? What's up?
I'm having issues out the ass. I can't get into Instagram. I can't get into Facebook. It's very frustrating. I said I got my password, and it's not sending the SMS. It's not sending me the new password.
I mean, wasn't that what they were They were transferring everything.
That's what I thought, but I never get that service from AT&T. AT&T, you got the phone. You're on your own.
I'm just, I got an iPhone. I got a new iPhone a few weeks back, and I didn't have any issues with mine. I think it might have taken 10 or 15 minutes to, transfer everything. But once everything was transferred, that was it.
Yeah. But if you transfer anything from Samsung to Apple, they put a wall, a fence, and a data block around everything.
I mean, it seems like when you transfer Samsung to Samsung, they do that. It seems like you're running into the same issues that you were concerned about, but you're going from Samsung to Samsung. Apple has nothing.
And then you get getting, we're very sorry, that doesn't work. We're very sorry, it doesn't work. Technology fucking hates me.
I'm not a person that would say I told you so. So we'll skip that part of it. I'm not going to say it. I'm not going to say it because I'm a better person than that. This is where a person lesser than me would come in and say, Frank, I tried to tell you that this was going to be an issue either way. You might as well get a nice phone like an iPhone, but that's not me. And that's not what I'm going to do. So I'm just going to say, I hope it works out for the best. I'm sure there's, just like with any new technology, I'm sure there's going to be some hiccups, but I'm sure it's going to work out.
Hiccups? It took me 40 minutes just to get into Twitter.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that might be for the best for everybody. Can you imagine if you had Frank, can you imagine if there was like a password issue or, something to lock you out of Twitter, like during Mets games where it's like, hey, you've had this thought. Maybe let's give it a few minutes before you tweet it out. You think there should be that might be something that they should do for Twitter. Like, hey, it's kind of like when you write an angry letter. Like, hey, you wrote this angry letter.
I said I forgot my password. I tell them to send it to my email, send it to my text. It's not coming.
Well, which email is it going to go to? You don't have to say the email, but I mean, maybe you're not checking the right email.
I'm looking at the email and I'm refreshing every 10 seconds. And then I asked for it to be sent to my phone, and it's not even doing that.
Maybe it's being sent to your old phone. Do you have your old phone with you?
Yes. I have to bring it back next week sometime, but this is so fucking frustrating.
What do you
Why
mean?
can't anything ever be fucking easy?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. We've talked about it before. I think one day those robots that everybody's kicking, one day they're going to remember who kicked them. And I think we're starting to see a little bit of that now with you and technology where, didn't you throw a GPS system out your car window?
Yes.
You think maybe like that system, like before it died, you think it just sent out a message like always mess with Frank Fleming, like Frank Fleming killed one of us?
I mean, I don't understand how nothing is fucking working.
It's a new phone. You got to give it a few minutes, maybe.
I mean, it's so fucking frustrating. And I don't remember my passwords. And then they give you passwords that are E6792263728922. And then you try to reset it and it doesn't reset. By the way, at the end of the show, I need you to get the code because I have to download. I got logged out of StreamYard.
I can do that. I
mean, why can't anything ever come quickly and easily?
I think it's you've started a war with technology, and I think one day you'll realize technology is going to win that war every time.
I mean, there's nothing. I can't get help anywhere.
Well, technology may not be your friend, but your sports teams are doing pretty good. The Devils are doing all right.
Yeah, a little bit of a hiccup yesterday, but
I mean, well, that's just one hiccup. We're not going to let that stop the Devils train from keep it on, right?
Well, Keith Yandel, who was a guest on Scott Van Pelt, how much the Devils you can't root for that team.
Because of the organization itself.
I don't know. Scott Van Pelt says the only thing worse than a Devils fan are those idiotic Dolphin fans that celebrate when the last team loses. And the only thing that's worse than both of them are Met fans. And if you root for Notre Dame, it's just you should be ashamed.
Yeah.
That's what we were seeing right on last week.
Also, if your name is Frank, go to hell. That's what it sounds like. That's the next line in that statement. It's very specific, Frank. It seems very, very specific to you. I wonder how many Devils, Dolphins, Mets fans are there named Frank? I think maybe that's just that might be the worst coded message. I think he might just be telling you to go to hell.
But yesterday, Devils had it, and they didn't play well yesterday. I gotta say, they did not play yesterday.
The Devils did. I thought they did play yesterday. They lost in overtime, right?
Well, they came out flat. They were down 2-0, and then they scored 3 goals in 4 minutes in the second period. And here it is. Everything's just going to hell. But they did, and then they kind of just sat on the lead.
Mm-hmm.
They kind of sat on the lead. They actually had a power play, which was not a very good power play. And with about 3 minutes left, where basically they were just trying to run down the clock, and then they had a sloppy exchange, and the Predators tied it with 8 seconds left. And overtime was over before you could even blink.
Well, it's an overtime loss, so you still get 1 point.
Yeah, it's a game they should have won.
That's fair. So what I mean, their third loss?
Fourth.
Oh,
fifth.
Fourth.
Fifth. They've lost. They were 3-3 before the hot streak began, and losing to John Hines is just.
So what's the record?
19-4-1.
Frank, you've been over this. That can't be their record.
It is.
19-4-1 is the Devils' record. In what year?
19 wins, 4 regulation losses.
Mm-hmm.
The third category is overtime losses.
And so that is the official record. That's what the record shows.
Yes. That third category is where they get that 1 point from.
But it still counts. But it's still a loss, though.
But it's an overtime loss. An overtime loss, you get a point.
I know you get a point.
If you look at any standings that is printed for an NHL team,
Mm-hmm.
it has those three categories: wins, loss, overtime loss.
Okay. Well, speaking of
And
losers, the Liver King. What a loser. What an absolute loser. Now, you met him. Did you take a picture with him?
no,
But you met him in the office, right?
I don't think I did.
You know what I might be thinking? I think Kate met him. He went on Pardon My Take a few weeks back, maybe a couple months ago.
Now, you do realize we almost met him. Think back to June. Remember we were on that epic road trip?
Which one?
The one that was 2 weeks?
Yep.
Remember we had to stand by in Dallas, and if the Rangers won, there would have been a game 7. We would have had to go to Houston.
Mm-hmm.
That's who the Sunday conversation was with in Houston.
Yeah. And he was also in the office.
Yeah, like a couple of weeks after that, but I wasn't. I didn't meet him.
Well, he's a loser. Now obviously everybody knew he was on a crazy amount of steroids. Nobody's body, no matter what diet, no matter what gym routine you're doing, nobody's body looks like that naturally. He was obviously on, horse tranquilizer and whatever other steroids. But it finally came out. Emails were leaked that he sent to other trainers or some kind of doctors or something about everything he was on. It's one of those things where he had to have known. Obviously, he knew that at some point it was going to come to an end. I wouldn't be surprised if the video he made, that apology video, I wouldn't be surprised if that was made, a year ago or 6 months ago. It was obviously going to, but it is what it is. We'll see how that pans out. You okay?
Yeah, I'm okay. I'm just wish everything would just fall into place. That I ask for a code to be sent, and the code is not being sent.
You look blurry. Is your webcam okay?
That happens all the time with this fucking thing.
Is it actually blurry on your side or?
It's not I got my computer didn't. My PC didn't come with a camera, so I had to buy a separate.
I'm saying you're blurry right now. What we see, is it going to be blurry in the video?
It goes in and out. I don't know how to even there it is.
There you go.
This technology keeps going boom, boom, boom. Yeah, fuck you, fuck you, fuck you, fuck you.
Yeah, so you're not taking that very well. You know who else is not taking things very well? Kanye West. He might be having a worse week than the Liver King.
I mean, he's done. He is done.
He clearly has some mental issues. I was going to say he's going through it. He's gone through it. He is already through it, and he's lapping back. He's looping around. He's back at it again. I mean, everyone could tell he was kind of losing it, a few years back, 2016 or so, when he said that, slavery was a choice. And he got called out, rightfully so, on TMZ. He's been losing it. It's to the point now where if he actually does something crazy, I think everyone will just expect it.
And then, of course, yesterday he just basically burnt down Twitter. He burnt down Twitter.
Yeah. Well, he went on Alex Jones, and he one-upped Alex Jones.
Alex
Jones gave him an opportunity. He said, hey, listen, people are saying you're like Hitler. People are calling you a Nazi. You're not a Nazi, right? And it was a perfect opportunity for Kanye West to say, absolutely not. And he said, well, and he just went off on a little tirade.
Uh,
I feel bad for him. I'm not in like a pity sense, in like a when you see someone clearly having a mental breakdown. I don't feel bad for him in the sense that, hey, he's financially, losing everything with Adidas, or, not in that sense, in the sense that there is a person who is clearly mentally losing their mind. And it's just, something bad's going to happen soon. In that sense, I feel bad for him.
yeah. It's the Kardashians. It's the Kardashian. Talk about curses. The Kardashian curse. Any man that gets attached to that family ends up just destroyed.
Yeah.
I mean,
Pete Davidson dodged a bullet.
he did. Although Chris Paul now, he caught some shrapnel there. You see, that's what happens when you get involved with the Kardashians.
Yeah. Now, as far as Chris Paul, we don't know for sure. That could just be Kanye going off on another crazy tirade. And he didn't act. Chris Paul might be completely innocent, but it's a great argument. It's a great defense. If Chris Paul's wife has any questions, all he has to do is say, "It's Kanye West. He's crazy." It's literally, it's like a crazy town person saying something. You're like, whatever. It's just a crazy person.
That is the modus operandi, though, of the Kardashians.
What, to make guys crazy?
Players from the NBA, they seem to have a history with NBA players.
Yeah, I don't know if I would say it was their MO. Would you? Maybe
it's their
a proclivity.
Their type.
Their type. Yeah, they definitely have a type for sure. Well, so those two are down bad. Who's not down bad? America. The USA advances in the World Cup. I'm torn on this. I'm happy that we advance and we show, hey, listen, America is great at just one more thing. At the same time, the USA advancing does mean that we have to pretend to like soccer for at least another week.
Yeah. I'm actually starting to like soccer a little bit.
Oh yeah.
I mean, I used to really not like soccer, but I got to say I'm enjoying the tournament.
I think if you put your mind to it and you say, hey, listen, I'm going to watch this sport for all the good and all the bad. I'm going to enjoy it. I think if you put yourself in the right mindset and say, hey, listen, America is in this. It's kind of like the Olympics. I don't care about half the Olympic events, but I'm going to still cheer on America and I'm still going to watch it and I'm going to be happy when America wins. So, I look at it that way. If you can find someone to root for, it's a lot easier to enjoy the sport.
Yes, and the one thing that I find interesting is the group play, and when the tournament's here in the United States and Canada and Mexico, but mainly the United States in 4 years, it's going to expand from 32 teams to 48 teams, and instead of having 8 14 groups, it's going to be like 16 3-team groups, with the top 2 in each group advancing for a 32 round knockout. So it's going to be a lot more hectic, I think. Mm-hmm. And what's happened is there were 3 teams that dominated the groups: France, Portugal, Brazil. All 3 were 2-0 going into the third stage, and all 3 lost.
Yeah.
And that kind of fucked up a couple of teams.
Yeah.
Especially Uruguay. Uruguay is going home because South Korea beat Portugal. And it didn't matter that Brazil lost to Cameroon. Cameroon's going home, but it's a it's a notch on their belt that they beat the top soccer team in the world, and Brazil had some injury issues, so they basically didn't even like play play their best today. Didn't even try. Didn't probably had a lot of backups. Like France when they lost to Tunisia had a lot of backups in there, and it's just preparing for the next stage. So when it's with a 3 team group, you're just going to have 2 games, and I think you're going to have a lot more competitive group stages.
Yeah. You don't have that third game that is, for the most part, if you've won your first 2 games, it means nothing.
Yep, and
There's no reason to play.
and now we're basically in the Sweet 16. They don't call it that, but I think we should call it that. We will play tomorrow. We have to get the 10 o'clock in the morning, so it's an early morning game, and we'll be playing the Netherlands. Netherlands are a tough team. That's not going to be. It's not an easy matchup for us. It's not. It's not a matchup that. I mean, we can win, but it's going to be very hard for us to win.
Yeah.
And still trying to get my phone squared away, and I'm getting phone calls.
Yeah. So America advances. They play tomorrow morning. Should be entertaining at least.
By the way, here's a little thing about my phone that's interesting. Got a little stylus attached. They don't come with that on Apple.
No, because we don't need them. You don't need them. I used to have an electronic device with a stylus. It was called a Palm Pilot, and it was my father's from like 1998. Frank, what do you need a stylus for on your phone?
I probably won't use it much, but it's just a fun appendage. And it's got 526 gigs of memory. 526.
That doesn't sound right.
Yeah, 526.
Of memory?
Yeah. It's the Samsung 22.
Are you talking about the hard drive or the RAM?
Let me see.
That doesn't sound right.
Let me see. 526. Yeah, 526 gigabytes.
Of what? It says of memory?
Oh, 512. So I'm close. 512 gigs.
Yeah, no, the number isn't what I'm questioning, Frank. It's the word memory. It says on there 512 gigabytes of memory.
Yeah, yeah.
It says that.
Yes, Samsung.
It says of memory.
Whatever it is.
I'm asking on the website or whatever you're looking at. It says 512 gigabytes of memory. It uses the phrase of memory.
I don't know what word it uses. What does? But 512. Yeah, yeah. It's my capacity. It's the my storage capacity.
Yeah, your hard drive.
Yes.
Yeah, memory is RAM. That's different.
You know,
you get mad at technology and you don't even know what you're doing. You don't even know what the technology is, Frank. I do this. I mean, I guess I do the same thing. I drive a car and I have no idea how it operates. I press the gas pedal, it goes faster. I press the brake, it slows down. That's what I know.
Yes, and I'm the same way with cars. I probably have to go do an oil change soon, so I know I'm going to get fucked over by Jiffy Lube.
Well, only because you allow them to do that, though. Like you just say yes to everything. The guy told you it was what was it? It was
That air filter was robbing my fuel capacity.
Yeah, robbing your fuel capacity. So you'll spend $100 on that or whatever it was, but then you get mad because an app's not working. Ugh. Frank, you just don't make a lot of smart decisions when it comes to technology. However, you definitely have a great memory. How was Boston trivia?
That went well. The only thing that went bad was I took the train up. Train was comfortable at least, so no issues with the train, no issues with Amtrak. Although I almost missed my train because New Jersey Transit was going from Secaucus. It took 25 minutes to go from Secaucus to Penn Station. This was going extra slow. But I finally got there. We got on the train. About 3 hour ride, and my hotel. They didn't have my room ready.
Oh no!
So I had to walk around Boston with my bags. I went to the Cheeky Monkey where Chris Clemmer's not welcome. So I went to where I wasn't welcome into he wasn't welcome in the Cheeky Monkey. We watched the World Cup game. I did a hot dog review at a bar that's actually attached to Fenway Park. And trivia, got off to a slow start in the first game, but turned it around on some unlikely questions, knowing what One Tree Hill actually was. And then won the championship. So at the end of after the tournament, I finally get my bag, get to the hotel, finally get my room on the 31st floor, and then we find out why there was no rooms. Prince William and his wife, Princess Kate, I don't even know if is her name Kate? I believe it's Kate. The Prince of Wales now. He's now the Prince of Wales, taking his father's old title, and he was staying at that hotel. So there must have been like about 3 or 4 floors reserved for the Prince of Wales there.
Floors?
Yes.
3 or 4 floors of the hotel reserved.
Well, you know how the king and how the royal family is. They have the whole fucking contingent there. They have security with them, and they probably have like a floor.
What do they need security for? Who gives a shit about them?
They're the royals.
Not in America.
Well,
they told you they had 3 floors of like reserved for them.
Well, I'm assuming that. But they had, but the hotel got tied up with a lot of extra with rooms being used by the royal contingent.
Got it. It's a crazy week. Liver King, Kanye, soccer, the royal family,
and then don't forget about Drew Brees' favorite song, "Lightning Striking Again." I mean, was that not the lamest thing you've ever seen?
It was a poor attempt. That was, I don't want to say people are dumb. I don't want to say that because that sounds mean. But enough people are dumb to believe it. That's what I'll say. Not a lot of people. Enough people are dumb. I feel like that's a fair statement. Enough people are dumb to believe that it was real. I mean, you didn't even see anything in the video. It wasn't even well done. It was just the video immediately falls. The camera falls to the ground or whatever. You don't see anything, and I'm not going to give Darren Rovell any kind of attention or anything. So I'll leave it at that.
I almost got struck by lightning.
You've told me this story before, and go ahead.
I was walking with my father. We went to A&P. Of course, my father doesn't like driving, so he's got that little stupid old lady cart. I'm carrying a bag and an umbrella. over the cart, and it's raining. It's a thunderstorm. It's a summer, and we're walking over this overpass, and lightning hit across the street from the overpass. Hit the metal railing on the overpass. Uh, my father had some hair standing up on him. I was wearing a hat. I must have jumped like 6 feet. I would have won the fucking long jump. And I never carried an umbrella since.
Yeah, I mean that might be your fault for carrying an umbrella in a thunderstorm where there's lightning, but they're just.
The best part about it was it had a metal tip at the top.
I'm sure it did. That Frank, that doesn't surprise me at all.
No, in fact, it had a long.
It would surprise me if it wasn't metal, Frank.
This is what the umbrella looked like, and this is the metal tip.
The stories of your childhood make me think I should go to therapy just from hearing them. I didn't even experience them. I feel like I need secondhand therapy just from hearing your stories.
I mean, I jumped I must have jumped 6 feet.
Well, speaking of athletic abilities, it's championship weekend, college football. We got the NFL. You got your picks ready?
Yeah, but I just got to add another one, lose one.
What do you mean?
I was going to pick the Friday night game, but since this will come out Saturday, I got to change one.
Well, no, just pick the Friday night game. If you already picked it, pick it. Or if you want to change it, change it. That's fine. Your call.
I'm going to change it.
All right.
All right.
So I'm up. I'm up 6 games.
You're up 6.5. You're lapping me.
Now, wouldn't it be funny if I just start taking your picks?
That would make you look bad.
It would. It would make me look terrible.
Yeah.
I would win, but it wouldn't be worth it.
Yeah, no, you'll be booed. Everyone in America will boo you. That is wrong. It is rotten. You can't do that.
All right, fair enough. All right, well,
all right. Either USC or TCU is going to have the letdown. And TCU has won a lot of games that have pulled out of fire late. K-State has played great as of late, and I think this is the one. Now, I got these numbers yesterday, so I don't know if they've changed any, but I'm taking TCU.
Yesterday too.
I'm taking K-State plus 2.5.
All right.
All right. This is one I just substituted in. I was going to take Utah, but I want to pick all games that are going to be on post the show airing. So I'm going to go Tulane. Tulane minus 4. I'm going to make a little bit of noisy. I'm going to be going with Boise minus 3.5 in the Mountain West championship game. Mountain West has been kind of a mediocre conference this year, and Boise's 8-0 in the conference. The game's actually on the blue turf, so I'm taking Boise minus 3. One team I don't think is going to let down. I think Georgia's just going to crush LSU. I think they want to finish undefeated. I think that's their goal. And I think they just go out there and just dominate. And LSU, basically last week with the letdown loss, comes in deflated. So I'm taking Georgia minus 17.5. And in the game, I just think that has no buzz now after Clemson basically shit the bed against South Carolina. I think I'm going to take the under in the North Carolina Clemson game. The over-under is listed at 63.5. I think that's both teams have played poorly coming into the game. So I think that game's going to end up going under 63.5.
Fair enough. Well, I can tell you we have no games in agreement. So,
Ooh.
So we're good. I'll start it off. I've taken a couple favorites, a few favorites, and one underdog. I have USC minus 2.5. I think you are silly for taking K-State. I've taken K-State a couple times this season. They've burned me. They've burned me bad. Not doing it again. TCU minus 2.5 all day long. I've got a UNC pick here, UNC Clemson. I'm taking UNC plus 7.5. I agree with you. Clemson is just garbage. And it's not that I think UNC is going to win, but give me a touchdown, over a touchdown in points, I'll take them.
I think it's going to be a garbage game where both teams don't give you their best.
Michigan minus 16.5. I think Michigan's just going to go on a route for the championship game, and then maybe.
I was reluctant to take that game because of how the spread was just a little too far for me.
Yeah, that's fair. Hey, listen, some of us, like challenges, and so I'll gladly take that one. So I'm going to take Michigan minus 16.5, and then LSU UGA. Georgia may score all the points here. I'm not sure if LSU is going to score anything, but the over is only 51. I could see Georgia putting up 40 easily, and then I'm only asking for 11 points from LSU. I'll take LSU Georgia over 51.
Oh, I see Georgia I think Georgia could probably put. I think you might be right about Georgia putting up 40.
Yeah, easily. So those are my college football picks. I'm glad that we don't have anything going, and I'm glad that we don't have any corresponding picks. So there's no issues there. Let's go ahead and get to our NFL picks.
This one, I'm actually crossing my fingers on this one. I think it's gonna be a tough week for the Dolphins. Still don't know the status of Teron Armstead. He missed the second half of the game against the Texans last week. I think if Armstead doesn't play, the Dolphins are in trouble. It's sort of 2 straight games in California, San Francisco Chargers. But you know what? The Dolphins are 4-point underdogs. And I think the Dolphins, they can score. So I think they can cover that spread at the very least. Here's one that's a definite head-to-head that we're going to disagree on. Lions. I am taking the Lions +1. I think the Jaguars and Lions have both played well lately, but the game's in Detroit, and I think the Lions really want to finish the season strong. Here's another one. It's a 1-point spread. The Falcons. The Falcons are 1-point underdog at home to the Steelers. The Falcons play well at home. The Steelers, they're up and down. I think the Falcons get that win. And I think the Vikings, -3 against the Jets. I think the Jets are getting a little hyped up. This Mike White tore apart a Bears defense that is just the worst in the league. But I don't think he's going to find that easy going this week. I think the Vikings pretty much dominate the Jets. It's only 3-point spread too. So I'm taking the Vikings -3. And then I'm going Monday Night Football. Buccaneers, Saints. Both teams are lackluster. One team has to win a division. That's a terrible division. The over-under is 40.5. Both teams play real well. Play decently on defense. Both teams' offenses are question marks. Andy Dalton. And the only thing that scares me is Andy Dalton could throw a pick 6 and bust me in this.
Yeah.
But because you know why? He's a dandy, Andy Dalton. Andy dandy, do or die. When the game is on the line, he'll be sure to throw an interception. That is the dandy Andy way. So I'm taking Bucks Saints under 40.5.
All right. Well, again, we have no corresponding picks. Little upset you took the Lions as your pick, knowing that I have to take a team in that game. So, there's a chance that we were on the same page there. So I'm a little upset about that. But I'm not obviously not picking Lions. I've got the Jaguars -1. I think they could easily win this outright, but I'll take the points.
Well, actually, the Jaguars are 1-point favorites. Last I looked.
Are they?
Yeah. Well, 1 point's practically a pick.
Right. You're right. I have Jacksonville -1. I have Jacksonville -1.
And there goes my camera again. I don't understand why this camera does this.
Well, I mean, it's obviously your fault. You've angered the technology.
There it is.
All right. So next up, Jacksonville -1. They are the overwhelming favorite in that game by 1 point. I'm going to take Jacksonville -1. Next, we got Browns -7. Kansas City -2. I'm realizing now that I took all favorites. That doesn't make me feel good. But I'm still confident in all my picks. Browns -7. Kansas City -2. Baltimore -8.5. And for my over-under, I'm taking the Jets-Vikings over 44.5. It's a lot of points, but it's Kirk Cousins. I think Kirk Cousins can score a few touchdowns there. And we'll see if the Jets can add anything to it. But that's my over-under. Jets-Vikings over 44.5. Perfect. All right. That is Barstool Units. Click like, subscribe. Let's get Frank up to 30,000 on YouTube?
Yes, I am. I'm trying for 30,000.
All right. So let's get him up to 30,000. Click like and subscribe. And Frank, take us out.
Well, this weekend I'm going to be decking the halls. So, deck the halls with boughs of holly. La 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 la. Click like and subscribe. La 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 la. This is why my picks are feeble. La 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 la. Hopefully I don't suck this week. La 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 la.
Merry Christmas.